And the big thing, the author wants us to
Learn. My handwriting's very messy
learn.
sometimes. Awesome. Very good. Now, I want you thinking back to what we talked about yesterday. Danielle, how can we find the topic of our text? When we are reading something, how could we potentially find the topic? How do we find the topic of our text? Abigail, start us off. Tracking Abigail. How do we find the topic of our text?
How do we find the topic of our text? Is like reading to understand it and then stopping to take some notes so we like what the topic is about.
Okay, someone build on to that. Tell me a little bit more. How do we figure out though what that topic is? How do we figure out who or what we are learning about? Venus? By keeping reading. What else, Steffi?
Like, the topic kind of about like who or what. So like, if the thing that we were reading was about like a one specific thing, then it would probably be like mentioned in the text. Like so, like the text that we were reading, like I think like laying low. I'm pretty sure. I think it was like mentioning like crabs, a type of turtle, like a lizard, like a type of lizard, and I know that like it was mentioned, and that's like what the thing is about because it's about like multiple animals.
And the thing that we're reading about, the topic, is it going to be mentioned once or a bunch of times?
A bunch of times.
When we see something, right, look at what I have in red, when we see something mentioned repeatedly, that's a good indicator that that's the topic of our text. Awesome. Today, we're going to be using sentence cards. We're going to be putting together main idea sentences. But before we do that, let's look at what's our criteria for a strong main idea sentence. Can I have someone read out the first one? What's our first criteria for a strong main idea? Jadiel.
Name the topic of the text.
Name the topic of the text. What's our second thing? Once we've named the topic, what do we do next? Kyra, let's get that voice in there. What do we do once we read the topic of we state the topic of our text?
Name the thing we learned from the author about the cop.
Yeah, what's the
Topic.
thing? Good. What's the thing we learned? Who remembers? What did we learn yesterday? What was the thing we learned yesterday about our animals? Jefferson? How they hide from predators. Oh, I see Abigail agreeing. She remembers that as well. And then, because we're, super smart fourth graders, and we need to make sure we are writing with what every time?
Complete sentences.
Which means what comes at the start of our sentence?
What
What period comes at the start of a sentence? Capital letter. What comes at the end of a sentence? Period, question mark, any sort of punctuation, right? We need punctuation at the end of our sentences. Awesome. So as you're working with your partner to build your main idea sentences, make sure we're following our CFS. We name the topic, we name the thing we learned about them, and we have a complete sentence. Capiche? All right, Venus and Jefferson, here are your cards. You're gonna write two different main idea sentences. Jada and Abigail, your cards, and then I'm gonna have the three of you be a trio, okay? Does that work?
Yep.
Amazing.